Hello YouTube, W&J's Handy Dad here, and today I'm going to show you how to install an OEDRO light bar system pretty much on any vehicle. I'm going to teach you the tricks of wiring it, and I'm not going to show you the tricks of where you want to install it, because obviously every vehicle is going to be different, and that's going to be up to you to figure out where you want to put it. So this kit is pretty impressive. It comes with 4 smaller light fixtures as well as 1 large light bar. So you've got 4 of these pods that you can locate anywhere on your vehicle that you want, and then the big light bar. So obviously there's not a right or wrong answer of where to put any of this stuff. It's going to depend on your vehicle. If you've got a truck or a Jeep or an SUV, you might install this differently than you would on a car or a golf cart. Maybe you install only 1 set of these and save the others as backups. Like I said, there's a lot of possibilities, so rather than bore you with showing you how to drill and route wires, I'm going to show you the electrical connections, and with that you ought to be able to figure out where you want things to go. So basically you're going to be routing wires between your switches and these lights wherever you put them. And most vehicles are going to have some sort of routing that you can follow for wires. Follow existing wiring paths. There's usually holes in the firewall that allow you to go from the passenger compartment to under the hood, and so if you follow those, then you should be able to route your wires where you need them to go. Secure them, put them in plastic protection such as this if you can, or wire looms. If you know, there's various sizes and shapes of those. You can see these are high quality, well made lights. They've put their name on them proudly, so you know they're well made. I've always had good luck with their products. There's mounting brackets in those packets. They sent me 8. I think you only need 6. But basically each of these packets has 2 sets of this. So there's the bracket, there's 2 small lock washers, 2 nuts, a mounting bolt, a lock washer, and a nut for it. And so just as an example of how you might mount it to the light, you see I've mounted that there, and then obviously you would tighten those down whenever you've got it at the angle that you want, and obviously this would mount to your vehicle. Now I'm not going to give you an opinion on whether I think it's easier to mount this to your car first and then mount this to the bracket, or whether it's easier to mount the bracket and then mount this to your vehicle. That's going to be something you're going to have to decide. My guess is it's probably going to be easier to tighten these first off of the vehicle and then mount this to your vehicle, but every vehicle could be different, so think about that before you get started. These should not spin. The bolts should be retained enough by the brackets themselves not to spin, so you should only need to get a socket wrench on the end of the nuts to tighten them. And then obviously you can mount this bracket several different directions depending on the way you need to aim your lights. The way I've got this on here right now would allow it to rotate in that fashion, but obviously there's different ways you can flip this upside down to get a different angle. In other words, have your path like that, which is going to give you some advantages and some disadvantages, again, because when this mounts on there, it's going to want to connect into here. So figure out which way you need to go, where you're putting it, how you're going to aim them, whether you're going to install all 4 or just 2 of them. Additional thing you're going to need to do the installation is preferably a soldering iron, a solder and flux. If you don't know how to solder, I have videos. It's really easy. You basically heat the wire up, touch the solder to the wire, the solder melts in and it makes a connection. So if you're afraid of soldering, don't be. You really just don't want to solder for whatever reason, you could always do crimp connections. They usually last pretty well, but there can be failures with crimp connections, obviously. So solder is best, crimp is second best. Lastly, you're going to need some wire stripper, a switch or switches of your choice, and a relay or relays of your choice to make this work best. You can make this a 1 to 5 switch system. So what I mean is you can have one switch that turns on all 5 lights, or you can have up to 5 switches that turn them on individually, or any combination. You know, you might have one switch for this light and one that controls those, or you might have one that controls this, one controls these two, one controls those two, that sort of thing. I'm going to show you the one switch system, and obviously running multiple switches is real easy. If we pretend this is the car battery and we just hook this directly up with no fuses or switches, you see it's just on, and of course it's going to drain your battery very quickly. The simplest installation, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it, is to basically place a switch in between the hot or the ground so that you could turn it on or turn it off. So if we add a switch, then you see you can turn it on and off, but that's not giving you any what we call circuit protection, and that's not really the ideal way to do it. So you'd want, at a minimum, to have a fuse so that if there was any problems, instead of screwing up your battery, the fuse would blow. So you would basically have your fuse somewhere between here and here. It can be on either side of the switch, of course, but just so that if there's a problem with the power, the fuse would blow. Now if you're hooking into one of your car power systems that's already in existence, it's going to have a fuse somewhere, but I still recommend that you add another fuse, just one extra layer of protection. The ideal way to run this is, of course, with a relay, and what I would suggest you do is run a ground to your switch and then run off of the switch to your relay. And I'll post up, I've put other videos before with how to wire these. Basically, right now the purple wire is the output to the light. It's connected to this. When you power up this one and this one, it switches and then it connects those two. So just for simplicity's sake, I've got this hooked up to where this would go to the hot on there. The ground on there would be grounded full time. This would go to the power, and then we would put the switched ground in between there, and when we switched it on, the light would come on. And that just gives you one extra layer of protection, plus you can put a higher power source going through here, and it's not coming through your switch and so forth, so it's, quote, safer. The other thing you can do with the relay, of course, is set it up such that this only comes on when you have your high beams on. For example, the power here could be just the high beams, and then this power could be, directly to the battery through a fuse or something like that. Lots of options, but the simple thing is power on these connects these two, no power on one or both of these, and these are connected. But this is the ideal way you'd want it hooked up in your car. We're pretending that this is the car power and that the ground wire on the light is actually connected to a ground point on your frame somewhere. And of course that there's a fuse somewhere in the line there. But basically we've got our power source going, the hot side going into the relay in 2 spots. Again, this could be a different spot. We've got our ground wire from the switch going to the other side of the relay, and the power output going to the lights. So when I flip the switch on the dash, lights come on, lights go off. Now me personally, you see I've taped this yellow, I normally hook up to the what we call accessory power. So basically what we're doing in that case is adding another switch between here and the hot side, which is your key. So you turn your key on, it's basically a switch. So it's just one extra layer of protection, and then also that keeps it from running down your battery if the power is, like if your car is not running. So basically that would be, this would be your key here. So when it's off, you see nothing happens. Then when you turn the key on, you get a light. So you'd have one extra way to switch it on and off, and that's what I prefer to do. But that is the basic wiring. It's that simple. So the main trouble for you to decide is where to run the wires in your particular vehicle, where to mount these and how to aim them, and how many sets of switches you want to put. Like I said, you could theoretically have 5 different switches and 5 different relays. You could set your relay up so that the power on here only comes on when the high beams are on by basically hooking this probe up to your high beam power, or your low beam power if you wanted it to only come on with when the low beams are on. If you're doing that, I don't suggest jumpering it like I've done here. You'd want to have a clean wire from your power source through a fuse into this leg of the relay, and then this just going to your high beam or low beam, however you wanted to do that. And then the other option, of course, is you can have a separate power source in the middle there. So basically when this is disconnected, those two would be connected. And what that would mean is when you don't have this on, then there'd be power going out to the lights. Or the other way you could wire this if you wanted to is basically have power going out to 2 different outputs. For example, when you flip the switch, you could have it power this. When you flip the switch off, it could be powering these. So easy to do. And let me know in the comments if you have any specific questions. I've been doing this a long time, so this stuff kind of comes natural to me. If any of it didn't make sense, I'll be glad to explain it further. The other option, if you are feeling so inclined, is to have your switches have their own power source to them, and basically what that allows you to do is have them light up when they turn on. You're going to have one more hot wire going there. So this one wires up hot, ground, and then output. And if I'm remembering correctly, this is going to output what's down here. So let's see if we switch these around, if the light still comes on or not. No, you see, so the light doesn't come on. So, but if you were wanting your ground output there, you're not going to get a light. I typically don't use switches like this just because for me, driving at night, if these things are lit up, it does affect my night vision. So I don't like having any extra lights in the vehicle. But if you like that sort of thing, that's how you would do that. I've showed you these hooked up to 12 volt, and you see they were bright, or at least I hooked up the one. I could have hooked up all 5. I just didn't want to get out the wiring just for demonstration purposes, but it would be the same, just basically connect all the reds together, all the blacks together. But Anyway, if you have a different type of power structure, for example, maybe you have a 36 or 48 volt golf cart that you're powering, then I would recommend that you get one of those voltage switchers. Basically, if you've seen my other videos, you hook that up to your 36 or 48 and then it outputs 12, and then just hook these directly up. If you're not wanting to do that, you can run these in series so that you can make this work. The problem you're going to have is for 36 you're going to do 3, for 48 you're going to do 4. So ultimately you're going to want the regulator. But if you were doing it, what I mean is, if this is the end here, we would do the hot here, then this would connect to this hot, this would connect to this hot, and then that would go to the ground, and what you'd have is a 36 volt light, or continue on with the fourth one and hook that one up, and then you'd have the 48. So that's two ways you can do it, but I definitely think you're better off doing it with the voltage little box that switches it for you.